Okay, so we're going to use our data that we collect, the claim of our car that we made, and you're going to compare your car's data. You're going to connect it to your claim, and you're going to compare it to mine. Here's my car's data. Okay, how did your car and your car's design compare to mine? Okay, was a shorter lever faster, or was a longer lever, did it cover a greater distance? Did the mass of your car affect its motion? Okay, so you're going to use my data and yours to make those comparisons. I recommend on a piece of paper brainstorming. When you look at your data and you look at mine, list the differences and the similarities. Okay, write things that are specific to your car. Hey, my car went a lot faster than Miss Gable's. Or hey, my car went a lot further than Miss Gable's. And then start to think about why. Why did your car go further or faster? Or why didn't it? It's okay if your car didn't go as far or as fast as mine. It's okay if your claim is incorrect. My claim, I thought my claim was going to be wrong. So it's okay if you're not right. Okay. So you're going to make those comparisons, and then you're going to explain to me why. Why is your claim wrong? Why did your car go further than mine? Why did it go slower than mine? You're going to explain those kinds of things. Now, I'm not asking you to write a whole page. You're going to explain all of those things in a paragraph. So right here on this website, I have how to write an abstract. It says to begin the process of writing an abstract for your science fair. We're not doing a science fair, but we're doing a project. You need to answer several questions about your project. So what was the topic? Our topic was motion. What was your hypothesis? Your hypothesis is your claim. My claim is a longer lever will make a car go a further distance. You're going to talk about what you did. So I designed my car with a light mass and a long lever, and I'm going to explain how long my lever was. When I tested my car, initially it was just kind of spinning and drifting. I applied some traction to my wheels, and it allowed the back wheels to grip, and therefore my car began to move forward. In my project, I compared it to a car of low mass with a short dowel rod, and I found that my car did in fact go further than the car with a shorter dowel rod. But I think mass has more to do with the motion of my car than the length of my dowel rod. I just gave you a claim. That's essentially what I want you to do, except you're going to write it. Okay? So what you guys need to be working on, if you've collected all your data and you've submitted that, is you need to start writing a little draft. Now keep in mind, a claim is only about 250 words. It is a paragraph, okay? Not a 5-sentence paragraph, but a good sized paragraph, okay? So you're going to write your draft, and you need to include numbers. You need to include your data, okay? So I'm going to show you another example of an example abstract. Okay, so in this example from the Newport School District that I found on the internet, they color code their claim just as an example, okay? So the purpose of their experiment will be in blue. The procedures that they use, like their design method, will be in green. And their observations, data, and results will be in red. And the conclusion will be in pink. So if I scroll down to a middle school example. So again, the purpose of their experiment is in blue. And it says the purpose of this project was to determine if a vitamin A tablet had an effect on tomato plants. So for our purposes, we would state the purpose of this project was to determine if the design of a mousetrap car would affect its motion. Okay? The purpose is essentially what our question is on our data sheet. Okay? And then the green is what they did. It's their design method and their data. So they basically summarize their experiment just like I did when I mentioned that I designed my car with a longer dowel rod. And I would include the length. My dowel rod was about a foot long. And then I would discuss how I designed my base to have a low mass. And then I would talk about how I had to add traction because my car wouldn't move in a forward direction. It was spinning. I would talk about all of those design processes. So someone mentioned they had to redesign theirs. Say that. I had to rebuild my car from scratch because it was folding or bending. There was too much force from the lever and it caused my mousetrap car to fold. You say that. It's okay to have made mistakes and to have those issues, okay? I had to re-glue my wheels because one wasn't straight or it was wobbly. All of those things you want to include in that. Okay? Then the orange is what their data. So for them, it said the experimental groups showed less development. So that's where you compare your data to mine. My data showed that my car, in fact, did go a greater distance than Miss Gable's car. Her car's maximum distance was 9 meters, and mine reached a distance of 12 meters. Because I used a longer dowel rod, this is the pink part. Now you analyze. My car went 12 meters, her car went 9 meters. Now analyze that. By using a longer dowel rod than Miss Gable's, the data supports that a longer dowel rod increases the distance that my car traveled. You'd say something like that. Their conclusion is the data analyzed and the conclusion is drawn that giving a vitamin A tablet to tomato plants did not improve the growth because each of these three experimental groups failed to produce plants. So if your claim is wrong, so you can say the data was analyzed and the conclusion was drawn that a shorter dowel rod did not increase the distance the car traveled. And this could also be because the car had a great mass as well, because there was too much mass. You just make a conclusion about what your data tells you. You say, hey, my car didn't move very far. Is it because of the dowel rod or is it because of the mass? Either way, my claim was wrong, but I really think it's because of mass. And if I were to rebuild my car, I would build it with a lighter mass. You do it something like that. And I'll share a screenshot of that as well.